Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday, the 2nd of December 2024. In today's Millwall news, we start off with the results of tonight's FA Cup third round draw, which sees Millwall at home to Primark West Ham, Dagenham and Redbridge. Yes. This is from millfc.co.uk. So Millwall will host Dagenham and Redbridge. Bit unfair that we have to play both of them in the Emirates FA Cup third round. The two clubs will pair together in Monday night's draw with the National League outfit, so they're in the National League at the moment. Obviously, they did get into the league, but not anymore. Set to visit the Den early in 2025. The Lions and the Daggers' last meetings were in the same competition, with Millwall winning a third round replay 5-0 in SC16 following a goalless draw in East London. Yeah, we had to, again, we needed a replay to get through against Dagenham and Redbridge. There are no more replays anymore. This may be something that needs to be discussed in terms of Millwall. Is this going to affect us going forward? We made our name as a cup team. Some of our best instances have been in cups or in the FA Cup, in the League Cup. We're absolutely abysmal in the FA Cup, often punching above our weight. And I'm sure there were times when replays were very useful in doing that. And is that gone now? Is that gone? Is that going to affect us? We don't know. We wait to see. A confirmed date, kickoff time and ticket selling arrangement for the fixture will be confirmed in due course. All Emirates FA Cup third round ties are set to be played across the weekend of the 10th to the 13th of January 2025. So there you go. A very winnable tie, unless you play Tom Bradshaw. Now, we finally get... Now at the weekend, we were away at Oxford, and there was, even though the circumstances of the game weren't going our way, there was a certain lack of substitutions. And everyone's scratching their head, like, why has Ivanovic not come on? Why has Amaku not come on? Why has Langstaff come on? And now we may have figured it out. It's because they were needed to play in this under-21 game today. They were being rested for the mighty Watford under-21s. So that may be the situation. So, Langstaff didn't play, but a number of first-team players did play, and they're still qualified for the under-21s. This is the match report from millfc.co.uk. So Mill under-21s defeat Watford 3-1. Mill under-21s are 3-1 winners at Watford in the Professional Development League on Monday afternoon. Reis, Bangura Williams and Miha Ivanovic, remember him? 2. One of them was a pen, so he scored 2 goals. And he scored a penalty, unlike Tom Bradshaw, who, when he played Brentford under-21s 3 weeks ago, he missed his penalty. Just saying. Found the target as Kevin Nugent's side got back to winning ways at University College London. Bangura Williams opened the scoring in the first half against the Hornets before Ivanovic doubled the advantage with 14 minutes to play. The Serbian then struck home Mill's third and his second from 12 yards to complete the scoring before Watford pulled a late consolation back 2 minutes from time. Next up for Mill under-21s is a visit to Ipswich Town on Tuesday the 10th of December. At the moment that's set to be at the training ground. The starting 11, the subs, they don't have, even though it was live tweeted on the Millwall Academy X site, they don't have the actual subs. So George Evans in goal, not that one. He's left. He's playing at Wrexham now. Smith, Mansour, the under-18 player who got that equaliser at the end. Massey, Taylor, also under 18 player. Drake, Bangor Williams, Mitchell, Billy Mitchell, Ivanovic, Kelly, and Emaku. Daniel Kelly and Emaku. So there you go. And the subs were Adai, Celestine Charles, Howland, Haywood, and Baker. And I think Howland got on and Baker got on maybe Haywood as well. I'm not too sure. Adai was the goalkeeper. I don't think he got on. So there you go. Now, and I'm not going to show you now, but I went to the Watford website to see if the match report was a bit more extensive, and it was. They had 4 or 5 of their first team squad players in the side as well. So they had their young first team squad players in the team. So it's not like it was a team of duds or like a team of like 17, 18-year-olds. It was a pretty strong Watford team that Millwall beat here. Okay? Very strong team. Very strong. And beat them 3-1. So I think that's what you call a statement, isn't it? Mill's record signing. Not good enough to come off the bench away at Oxford when we're drawing 1-1. But he can start 2 days later in an under-21 game away at Watford. Record signing. Most amount of money ever paid for a player. Miha Ivanovic. The Serbian Cascarino. Yeah. What can you do, eh? What can you do? You can just moan about it, and then other people moan about you moaning about it. But hey, what can you do? So this is how the table looks after that game, after that result. We are 18 points from 12 games. We're in 6th position. You need to finish in the top 2 to go through to the end of the season semi-final competition. And you end up playing, depending if you finish first or second. If you finish first in the Southern League, you play the team that finishes second in the Northern League. And if you finish second in the Southern League, you play the team that finishes first in the Northern League. But the Northern League is pretty rubbish, to be honest. So there you go. So yeah, we still have a game in hand on Ipswich, who we're playing at home next week, and a game in hand on Charlton. So not out of it, but you know, it has been a massive transition season for the under-21s. Massive transition season. They let a lot of the players were released in the summer because they aged out, and then there's like a bit of a gap because the good players in the under-21s, the few that there are out on loan. You know, Kamal Grant, Tom Leahy, Henry Hearn's now gone out on loan, scored again. There's no loan watch today. Maybe we'll get it tomorrow, but yeah, he scored again for Hornchurch. So yeah, there's that. But he's is a youth loan, so he can play in Millwall under-21 games. So I guess if you go out on loan and you're like on the bench or you don't play, then they'll play you. It's about managing your minutes so that you don't get overloaded, physically exerting yourself too much. So if he plays, I guess he's not going to play for Millwall under-21s. So there is that. Now, moving on to this. Yes, this is an update from Mill's Mark Fairbrother. He's the new CEO. He's a new Steve Kavanagh person who's running the club now. This is from millfc.co.uk. And he did an interview. And all you have to do is go to the website, go on the page, and you can play the interview. You don't need to be logged in. I'm pretty sure I'm not logged in. No, because it says login. So yeah, you don't even need to be logged in. It would be nice if they put it on YouTube, but I guess they have put clips on X. So what was he talking? He was talking about the training ground situation. Talking about trying to get to the Premier League. They have a target to get to the Premier League by the year 2030, and they're going to be prepping up the stadium in terms of fulfilling the requirements that they need to be a Premier League team before we get to the Premier League, unless we get promoted this season. and then they're going to have to scramble. But they don't want to scramble like Luton did. Like they had to like rush around to do all kinds of stuff. They had to get permission from the Premier League to do something like later than before the season started, because there's all kind of like requirements off the pitch, like sizes of dressing rooms and press rooms and all this kind of jazz. So he was talking about that. He was talking about Calmont Road and West Kingsdown. And that was interesting. So obviously West Kingsdown hasn't gone forward yet. They're still doing surveys, and but interestingly, so it looks like they're trying to keep Calmont Road now. So they're trying to build up Calmont Road, and in order to do that, obviously they keep spending money on Calmont Road, even though they don't own it. They want to buy it back. So I guess you need the landlord wanting to sell it to you if you can buy it back. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they have the right to buy or whatever. It's been there 20 years or whatever. I don't know. But yeah. So what I think someone's realised that is, if you move the training ground in the middle of nowhere, which is where, all due respect, where West Kingsdown is. If you move your academy there, you're going to be very limited in the amount of players that you can get into your academy, because there's no kids living around it. So I think what they might be doing is, if they might be moving the juniors to Calmont Road and then the first team to West Kingsdown when it eventually gets done. Because at the moment the juniors are playing at Blackheath Rugby Club. They do their training there. That's in New Eltham, SE9, Mottingham, wherever. So it seems, he didn't say that, but it seems that that's what they're trying to do, is to keep Calmont Road and use it for junior training, and then move the first team out to West Kingsdown, because I imagine the players generally live further out that way, in decent houses in the countryside, in the Kent countryside. And then, or if they don't, they can just drive down the M25, and there's literally an exit there. They can come off the Brands Hatch exit, drive off there, and they're at the training ground. So it'll be easy to, very accessible when you're trying to get players from other parts of the country who don't want to relocate. That will be very good. You just drive down the M25, come off the exit, and you're there. Easy Ozy. What else did he say? He said he was asked about season tickets, and his face kind of drops. You see here, I don't know if he's got Tourette's or something. He's got some kind of tick. Anytime he was asked a question, either his eyes bulged out of his head and then dropped back down again, or he had this Richter grin on his face, which then immediately disappeared. Which was interesting to watch. This is clearly someone who seems to be very honest. Someone doing that, like, not very controlled body language, like just open, like smiling and responding to the question. Yeah, I think we are getting some kind of season tickets increase next season. Obviously, this Labour government is absolutely fucking ruining people. The national insurance thing he said it's going to cost them 500k. He said that the new lights cost them 500k, but that was still better than what was the situation that we're in now, because apparently any time they turned it on, like 2 or 3 bulbs would just blow up, and then they'll have to get someone up there to change the bulbs. And the bulbs were costing like 500 quid because it's an old system and people just stopped making them. So you're trying to, this company, get it from here, get it from there, get it from... And it's just harder and harder to get them. Especially like the kind of bulbs, like, they have to be transported. And you want to make sure the filament don't break. So yeah, that was part of the Max and Maze deal. They sorted out a deal. They needed to get the new lights. Because the old ones were just falling apart. What else did he mention? He mentioned about the Portsmouth game. So what they're going to do when the tickets go back on sale, they know because obviously it's an away game. You have to have a membership or a season ticket do get an away ticket. So they know the people that got the tickets, and they're going to have like a first refusal. So in the terms where they sell away tickets, they go, oh, these loyalty points first, these, and then it goes down and down and down. They're going to do a thing where anyone who bought a ticket for the original game, they have the first couple of days, and they can buy a ticket if they want it still. If not, then they'll start selling it to other people. And they're going to try and subsidise coach travels and things for the rearranged game. So yeah, there was that, but yeah, it's like a 34-minute long video, so it is pretty in depth. One thing about the season ticket that was kind of a bit worrying is, and I'm sure might piss off a few people. Obviously, they don't want to just whack the prices up because everyone's going to moan anyway, even though the price has been like kept down for so long, which is quite a good thing. But then there's going to come a time when they have to go up, and you're going to have to put them up by a lot because you haven't been putting up every year. What he did say that they might be trying to fiddle around with it, because obviously you've got computer systems now, you can do all kinds of amazing things, dynamic pricing, etc. So he did say something like, well, the best seats in the house might cost more. So I would imagine if you're in the kitch upper, maybe they might even like break it down, because at the moment it's like this stand upper, this stand lower. They might break it down even further. If you're in blocks 3 or 4, this is the price. If you're in blocks 1 and 2, this is the price, and it's slightly lower. You know what I mean? So they might literally sell season tickets at different prices based on the seat. Because there's no reason why they can't, because the computer can do that now. So these seats, the price is going to be this. And these seats, the price is going to be slightly lower. So where do you want to sit? It looks like they could be trying to do that. Just this is the thing. I'm sure you've heard about shrinkflation. Wagon wheels, they used to be bigger. Well, no, it's when you was a kid, your hands were smaller. No, they're getting smaller and smaller. Snickers bars are getting smaller, and the multi-packs. You buy the multi-packs now, that they're not the same size as the ones that you get individually at the shop. The multi-packs are a lot smaller. And then you eat 3 of them just to make up for it, and people call you a fat bastard. Like, what's that about? But they're making things smaller and smaller. It's shrinkflation, so obviously they do that, because if they kept it the same size and just jacked up the price, you'll end up being like paying £1 for a Mars bar or like 60 pence for a Freddo. So they just mess around with the product to make it smaller, etc., etc. And it looks like they might be trying to do that with the season tickets next season. So that'll be fun. Now, obviously, if we go up to the Premier League, they can just jack the prices up. And what are you going to do? Are you not going to buy a season ticket for the one and only season that we're going to be in the Premier League? Of course you are. So yeah, like I said, 34-minute long video. You don't need to log in, it's just on the website. If you want to view it, you can view it. Now, moving on to some post-match comments from the manager. This is from southwarknews.co.uk. So he's getting better and better. Neil Harris applauds Mill wingers' progress. Millwall boss Neil Harris applauded Femi Azeez's progress and said he was a real attacking threat for us after he started on the left wing during Lions' 1-1 draw with Oxford United on Saturday. Azeez, 23, joined Mill during the summer transfer window from League One side Reading, and has seen his playing time increase as of late. He started 3 out of the Lions' last 5 games and was due to start last Wednesday against Portsmouth before the match was postponed due to a power failure at Fratton Park. In 14 appearances for the club, Azeez has scored 1 goal and assisted a further 2. oh, we've got 2 young wingers on the pitch. Romain is obviously very, very young and has to make sure late in games that he plays with the structure and discipline that we need from him. But he's come so far in a short space of time. And, Femi is the same. Femi is older than Romain, but, he's not played a lot of football in the league and certainly in the Championship. So he's developing all the time in the Millwall shirt and he's getting better and better. And I thought today was a real attacking threat for us. Yeah, it's interesting that. It's very interesting, isn't it? When you have someone who doesn't have experience and then you start giving them experience and they start getting better and better. It's interesting. Very interesting that. I wonder if it works with Serbians. Maybe. Maybe it will. Now, moving on to this. Also from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall boss Tanganga suspension. Injuries. Open door for others against Coventry City. Well, be careful with that open door because it might slam shut in your face. Who is going at centre back? Literally, who is it going to? Are we going to have a centre back pairing of Murray Wallace and Wes Harding? Which, now one of them, with Tanganga, maybe not too bad, but both of them at the same time. Oi, oi, oi. Neil Harris said there'll be opportunities for players next week after Japhet Tanganga picked up his 5th yellow card of the season during Millwall's 1-1 draw with Oxford United last Saturday, ruling him out of next weekend's clash with Coventry City. Tanganga, 25, has started Millwall's last 15 league games after missing the first 2 matches of the season through suspension. Well, he missed 3 matches, but one of them was a cup game. The Lions have conceded just 8 goals in that stretch. He's likely going to be replaced in the starting lineup by Murray Wallace, who made his second league appearance against Oxford. Tanganga's absence is further compounded by injuries to Jake Cooper and Hutchinson. Cooper will be sidelined until late January with a knee injury, while Hutchinson's availability is up in the air after he limped off the field against Oxford on Saturday. Harris is disappointed to lose a player he views as one of the best in the Championship. He's been the best of the centre half in the division by a mile, in my opinion. But I might be a little bit biased, because of my relationship working with him. Harris said, he's been outstanding, so we have to adjust accordingly. When asked how much of a loss Tanganga would be next weekend, Harris said, you can see the loss today, when we haven't got Josh Coburn on the pitch. You can see the loss that when we don't have an impact from the start of the bench that Duncan gives us. And I'd say we've dealt admirably without Jake Cooper so far, but that's because I think Hutch and Japhet have done so well as a pair. So once you lose the next one, of course, you become lighter in those areas. But, that's what we have a squad for. And that's why I have a recruitment department to build a squad, and there'll be opportunities for players next week. A few players are missing. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast and where we're at during this season, that you can have players missing because of suspensions. Harris only opted to make 3 substitutions against Oxford, 2 of which were enforced by injury. The first couple of weeks, of the season was the tough part before the transfer window shut and we signed players and we were really light. And it cost us late in games. I even felt that today. I didn't necessarily have the options that we needed late in the game to be able to make like-for-like changes to still make us an attacking threat, but also have that defensive responsibility as well. So that's something we've got to look at in general. Yeah, and I think this is the comment that's kind of pissed a lot of people off. He didn't have the options on the bench. Okay. It would be interesting if he could expand on that and say what kind of options he was talking about. Okay. So, moving on to this. They're already talking, because obviously we've got a star in the league now. We've got a big star, and he's going to get so much attention, especially as it looks like Wayne Rooney's holding on by his fingertips and probably going to get a sack soon. So they moved on to the new star, Frank Lampard. They're talking about the game already, because obviously, if you didn't know, he's the new Coventry City boss. This is from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. A really competitive game. Frank Lampard on facing Millwall test after kicking off Coventry boss spell with a draw. New Coventry City head coach Frank Lampard has described Saturday's championship match as Millwall as really competitive. The former Chelsea boss and player kicked off his reign as the Sky Blues boss with a 2-2 home draw against Cardiff City. Lampard's first away fixture sees him heading into the Lions' Den. The ex-England international is Joe Edwards, who had a 19-game spell in charge of Millwall last season, as part of his coaching team. Victor Torp's 84th minute penalty earned Coventry a point at the weekend after they twice trailed. Ephraim Mason-Clark also netted. Some good, some not so good in that performance, as expected, with 2 days working, said Lampard on Saturday. Where we are in the league, we want to get better, which means working on things we see, and I saw that. We started the game pretty well until we conceded from a set piece. The reaction was pretty good. I liked a lot of things, and there were some things I didn't like, but we tried to correct that half time. But the biggest issue is the second half was the staleness of our performance, and it can happen in this league. I'm not here to criticise the players after 2 days. I'm pleased with their character to get the result, and I know there's a lot of desire to get better, so we take the point and we move on. What happens in both ends and boxes is absolutely crucial, and it sounds simple, but it's true. You feel you have control, and all it can take is a counter-attack and they score. We have a really competitive game next weekend. Yes, they do. And obviously all eyes are going to be on that because it's Frank Lampard. So there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.